Good morning. Happy Monday. I am Shay Wilson, thinking big, living bigger, and loving the biggest. Happy Monday. Let me get you set up on my other platforms real quick. I know you can't hear me right now on Facebook. Let's get it going. Let's get it going. Let's get it going. Let's get it going. Let me see. Let's rock this thing. I hope you guys had an amazing weekend. I hope you guys had an amazing weekend. It was fun. It was fun for me. Didn't really do much besides working on the, let's see, got it. Got it. All right, let's get it. Listen, just work. You work on me, work on this, rested. It was just good. I love and appreciate when I have those kind of weekends that is just peaceful. I love those. This fun, this more exciting. But this was exciting. They were working on that 75 hard. If anybody know. But anyway, let's get into this one today. This is fire. Again, what are you loving and appreciating? I always ask you that. What are you appreciating about this morning? What do you want to start today? We want to set the tone for our day. We are the thermostats, because today what we're talking about is fire, and it is about stop letting right now our present current situation dominate our lives. Dominate where you're going. Dominate. And there's a reason for that. So we want to say initially get into what are you appreciating about your life? What are you loving about this morning? As we set the tone, I am like this all the time about the day. I'm always excited about the day. And so, and it doesn't matter what day I'm excited about. So let's get into this today. Stop letting where you are dominate where you're going, your current situation. I know right now, our current situation for some of us has us on the ropes. I mean, we barely making it. We barely making it. We're looking at our finances. We're looking at our weight. We're looking at our jobs. We're looking at our maybe we're single and we want to be in a relationship. Maybe we in a relationship and we want to be single. We are getting dominated by where we are. And I want to speak into you right now that it can change. Everything's temporary. But I don't want it to just change by accident. I want us to change because we decided to change. We decided to take our attention off of this current situation and breathe life into ourselves, that it's going to get better, that everything always works out, that I can do something about this, that I can learn something new and I can do it. That I have the ability to change this thing. And I think that's mainly one about many of us, that we get so beat up with life a lot of times that we don't think we can change our situation. And I mean, as we get older, we start getting a little bit more afraid and fearful, and we don't think we can do it. But that's not true. Listen, you want to change your situation, we got to change it. And I mean, really, right now, some of us are sitting right there thinking, God, I don't like it here. Help me. And God, the God of your understanding, is simply saying, okay, where do you want to go? Where do you want to go? Like we complain about where we are and we have no vision about where we want to go. What do you want to do? And then we start talking back like, well, I've never been able to do that, or I'm too old for this, or we start giving all the reasons to stay in the misery of where we are right now, because we have lost faith in many ways. So I'm saying, okay, well, come on then. Where you want to go? Let's talk. Where do you want to go? And therein lies many of our problems, or many of our situations, and many of our roadblocks, that we don't know where we want to go. We don't like where we are right now. And I'm like, okay. So that's okay. So let's talk about what vision you have. Because when they talk about if you don't have a vision, then you just stay right there. You complain about the situation, but you just stay in the situation. Talk to me this morning. Come on with it. If you got some comments, let me know. Hit me up with the comments. Come on. Let me see the comments. Come on with it. I know this one If you don't like where you're going, like if you don't like your job right now, you're getting up, and then sometimes it's just those days. It's not that you just don't like your job. It just, some days we get up and we're struggling, we're tired, all these things. But if you on a consistent basis don't like it, you on a consistent basis get up and you don't like your weight, you on a consistent basis you don't like your relationship status, whether you in a relationship or you're not. On a consistent basis, you don't like your life. I'm saying we can change that. Hey, Jasmine, good morning, Mike. Good morning. I'm saying we can change that. We can change that. It can be done. So without doing, and so this is what I find is that we get so upset in our relationship situation or in our current situation. When maybe it's more money, and we get frustrated, and then something happens that kind of uplifts it a little bit, and then we feel better. But that was just a temporary thing. And then back another couple of months, we're back in the same situation. Yes, it takes vision and energy. Sometimes it requires stepping back to find it. Absolutely. Absolutely. I want us to know that all things are possible, and all things are possible for us. All things are possible, and all things are possible for you. But we must do something. Do something different consistently. I mean, because again, I told you before, our old self, our old habits are not going to release you that easy. They're going to fight for where it is, because once you start doing something different, you get very uncomfortable. Let's say, oh man, it was me yesterday morning. I had to break this. Yeah, exactly. We get up not understanding that we have the same thoughts. They say we have 60,000 to 90,000 thoughts a day. And 90% of those thoughts are the same thoughts, which is why we create the same life that we have. You heard what I just said. Most of the thoughts that we have are the same repetitive thoughts every single day, which is why our life stays the same. We do the same things. We think the same things. We talk about the same things. We talk to the same friends. The same thing. We don't read anything different. We don't do anything different. And then we expect something to happen differently. Oh, come on, right? And I'm not trying to listen. I'm not trying to preach. I want this to touch your heart in a manner that says, you know what? That's man. Maybe Shay got some truth to that. There's some truth to that. No, this is true. I mean, that part of the thought process is true. It's a study. We know this. But how do we change this? How do we change if I'm not happy where I am? And I've been saying this for a while. Here's the thing, too, really quick before I move into what we can do, is that we get very comfortable in misery. We get very comfortable in chaos. Some of us don't know any different. We get very comfortable in complacency and mediocrity. We get very comfortable there. And then we're like, well, I want something different, but you really are very comfortable. And so sometimes you have to do things that will shake you up. And so you have to look at it. And I say that because if I ask somebody, how are you feeling? We'll say, oh, I'm good. Or, oh, I'm blessed. Or this, and you're struggling every day, or your financial situation has you on the ropes, or you have things that's coming at you and you're like, I don't know what I'm going to do, or your weight is at a place that the doctors are saying you need to do something different. Yeah, or you desire a relationship but you don't want to do anything different to get the relationship. You don't feel good about you. So how is that going to work in a relationship? You in a relationship and you want to get out of the relationship, or you want something to change, and yet you want them to change and not you. And that's just not going to happen. So we're crying out and saying, hey, I need help. And I've been there, done that. So let's talk about what we can do. The first thing I would always encourage someone to do is sit quietly. Sit quietly with the God of your understanding. Sit quietly with yourself, 15, 20 minutes a day. I say this all the time because this is your power. This is your power. Many of us run from the power within us because we think we don't want to hear what's being said to us within us. But there's a love within us that will walk us through the steps to get to where we need to go. So I'm sitting quietly because we have to move out things. We have to move things out the way. We got too much chatter in our heads, too much chatter from other people. We got all kind of distractions. We got life going on. So in order to do this, it takes a lot of strength to say, hey, I'm be very intentional about sitting today. I'm gonna be, good morning, Red. What's going on, gorgeous? I seen you out there doing your thing. I love that. I love that. I love that. What's good with you, gorgeous? Yes. So one of the things that you really need to do is to take a step back every day, 20 minutes. And I always call it like, it's like vacay mode. I'm just kind of stepping out of life, sitting with in my meditation to hear what I really want to do. Hey, Chris, what's good with you? What's good with you? I love it. I love it. Jump on. What you want to do. And so when you're sitting quietly, your whole intention is to just sit, because we need to get a vision. If we want to change, you can't not, your current situation will always dominate you if you don't have a better vision for yourself. If you don't have a better vision and you don't know, listen, it will always dominate you. You'll think that this is all that happens right here. This is your whole world. And many people, you are not unusual. This is very common that we stay in the same situations for years and just complain, and we never move out of it, mainly because we don't know. We don't have another vision, and we don't know how to change it. And I'm gonna tell you right now, it takes a little work. It takes a little effort to do this. And so the first thing I said is sit quietly every day and just sit about what would your ideal life look like? What would it look like? What would it feel like? What would it look like? What do you want? And here's what happens with many of us when we of age. I can't do that. I never been able to do that. All I asked was just what goal or dream do you have? I never been able to do it. But I won't be able to do it. I'm too old. Or I've always been this way. Or nobody wants me, or there's no good men or women out there. Now, come on now, when you speak that stuff like that and you want a relationship, you just spoke death into your situation. Stop saying that stuff. If you want a relationship, you better speak life into that. There's plenty of good people out there thinking just like you, thinking there's no good people out there. Stop saying that. You run into it. You run into it. Number one, I said, will sit with yourself 3 to 5 days in a row. Give yourself a goal and sit. And just sit to see, what do you really want? What would your ideal life look like, and what would it feel like? And then number two, write a vision for yourself from right now. What do you want your life to look like in next month or 6 months or next year? Start writing. And I don't care what age you are. Do not put that in there, guys. Just put it down. Just write it down. Remember, all things are possible, and all things are possible for me. All things are possible, and all things are possible for you. This journey is not supposed to be beating us up like it is. Right now, life be wailing on us, and we have a tendency to just stay down instead of standing up in our power, strength, freedom, and love. I need you heard what I just said. We have a tendency to get hit, and we stay down, in mediocrity, in poverty, and that's not where we're supposed to be. We stay down with our weight being an issue. If you are out of shape, your weight is an issue. You got health issues with this. That is a distraction to your joy in this life. And we're supposed to be joy-filled. Hear me. So you're not doing it because the doctor doing it. You're doing it because you love you. Self-love is taking care of yourself. Self-love is getting you rest. Self-love is writing down a vision that inspires you. If you opening a business and you're like, okay, let's go get it. Every day it's going to be issues, but the vision pulls you. All right, so we want to write it down. Look, I got 3 steps right there already. That's it. Right there. And we start from right there. Then put it into action. Number 4, start making a plan, and we put this thing into action. One step at a time. And every time you take a step towards, you celebrate yourself. Every single time you celebrate yourself. I don't care if it's the most minute thing, because here's the thing. We get dominated by negative thoughts. So when I say celebrate little things, it's because we don't celebrate ourselves enough. We've been busting our butts, raising kids, all these stuff, running businesses, going to school, all these things, and we never ever really gave ourselves credit for all of that. And so we have a propensity to look at the negative and beat ourselves up over the negative. So what I'm trying to do is we're going to flip that thing and start saying everything that we do on a regular basis that we need to celebrate ourselves. Well, man, I did that. All right, that's okay. The other thing is really big is forgiveness of yourself. Stop talking to yourself ugly. Stop holding things over yourself that you did 5 years ago, 10 years ago, last week. Let's go. Let's move this thing. Focus on your vision. Other people in saying that that's are distractions, whether they support you or they don't. It's a distraction for you paying attention. Where do you want to go? What is your vision? What is your vision? What is your vision? What is your goal? It's your goal. It's your vision. We put everybody else in our goals and visions and wonder why. And then we wonder why we're not getting it, because we keep looking for support from people that's not their goal or vision. Let's see, Brittany. Yes, I had a quiet moment in the jungle riding. I stopped just to take in the moment and heard God say, fear is not, that's it. Come on now. Come on now. You or me. Come on now. And that's what I need to, come on now. That's it. The fear is not real, guys. It's what we keep thinking in our heads. And I'm working through a process right now is to really show, because the leader goes first. It's not real. When we say no weapon formed against you, it's absolutely the truth. But we think the weapon's here. We keep thinking, oh, well, they're gonna stop us, or it's this situation, or they don't want me to have this. They have nothing to do with nothing. It matters not what they think. It matters everything what you think. And so some of us have been dealing with some fears that we never understood was always blocking us. So some of these fears are deep rooted. Some of these are deep rooted. We didn't even know. We didn't know. They came from when we were little. And so now it's like, okay, let's step into it. But the quietness, the silence, the power is already within you. And I know that sounds repetitive or cliche, but it is already within us. We just have, some of us just have to move some of the weeds or dust off some of the stuff, or just peel back the layers of the onion. And you may need a therapist, professional help to help you kind of guide you through some of this stuff, because we're still bouncing it off of our old self, off of our old thoughts and perceptions. So the thing we're gonna stop letting our current reality dominate our future. We're gonna stop it, but you gotta have somewhere to go. Where you going? That's the hope of where you want to go. If not, it will continue to dominate. All right. All right, guys. Hit me up with I love the comments this morning. I love the interaction this morning. Let me know, like, share, talk about it with your friends about how we're going to stop letting. Right now, everything's temporary, guys. Everything. But you got to have somewhere that's pulling you where you want to go. And I don't care what age you are, where you want to go. How do you want your life to live? Start writing it down and start moving towards that. That alone, progress, it's something that will ease your heart. That is a sense of fulfillment. We all want a sense of fulfillment. All right. Thank you guys for jumping on. I appreciate you. I will talk to you next week for sure. Peace. I'm Shay Wilson, thinking big, living bigger, and loving the biggest. Boom. All right, guys. Have an amazing Monday.